Hi, I would like to show you the custom KPIs, which is something that we have currently been working a lot on in Adversus. So first of all the KPIs we have created before is KPIs that we thought was a good idea, or that you as a customer thought was a good idea, and then developed in order for that. However, now we've created the possibility that you can create your own custom KPIs, and this is what I will show you today. So first of all, you will go to Insights in the menu on the left, and then Dashboards. So here you have a visual overview of all of your KPIs, and you can look at them and see if they're visually looks good. What I will do is that I will go here and I will add a widget. You can show the KPIs that you already have, or you can create a new KPI. So first of all, you need to decide what are we going to look at. A common example could be that instead of just looking at how many calls an agent have, you want to look at how long their conversation is. For instance, looking at all the calls that has a duration above 30 seconds. This can help you to see if an agent has few calls greater than 30 seconds, that they have a problem with opening the conversation with the customer. It could also be that you see that an agent has a lot of calls above 30 seconds, but not that many successes. This will indicate that they have a problem closing the conversation and actually have them say yes. So this can indicate how you can work with your agents and make them better. So we'll try to make one called calls above 30 seconds. I've already created this before, so it suggests it. We need to look at the source. So beforehand in the old reporting module, we'll always look at some kind of source, which often was the activity. Now what we're going to look at is the calls, because this is what we're looking at. We're looking for calls above 30 seconds. We have to take the start time here. It's not that urgent in this case, because what you're looking at is if you take today as the timestamp and a call has been made 20 seconds until midnight and then 10 seconds after midnight, then in the start it will be counted as today. And if you choose it at the end, it will count as tomorrow. But again, not that important, only in edge cases where you call at midnight. We want to count the items in total. So right now, what we're looking at is just total calls based on the start time. But we want to create a filter as well, because what we want to do is that we also want to look at that the conversation should be greater than or equals to 30 seconds. In this way, we have actually created a filtering saying on all calls, we only want to count those who has a conversation time over 30 seconds. So now we will save this KPI. As you can see, it gets chosen up here. Then we need to look at how we want to group it. As mentioned, I said that we want to look at users, which is, of course, a possibility. It could also see that you want to see how many calls in the campaigns were above 30 seconds, or in a time period, how many calls were above 30 seconds at a certain amount of time. In this case, we choose the users, and then we simply choose which visualization we want, and then we can add the widget. Oh, just have a call above 30 seconds. That's the name of the widget. So right now we have added it. As you can see here, for the last 3 months, 11 calls have been made that are above 30 seconds long. You can see that the user Adversus support, JKH, has made 7, and the user Jonas has made 4, which of course brings the total up to 11, as you can find right here. Another thing that we can look at is that if you do direct sales, then what you will perhaps have is products. So for instance, you call a customer and they agree and they say yes, then it's a success in the lead. But it will also count as one sale. But what about if you have added several products to one sale? Then it will not be visual only by looking at the successes, because you can't see how many products is connected to the successes. So therefore, we will now try to have a look at sales and sales lines. Again, we go up and create a widget, and here I'll just take one that I've already created. So you can see we have one called sales per user, and I will show you how it looks. So in sales per user, we look at the source sale. We want to look at when the sales was made, not when it was updated or when it was closed. If the sale has been going on for some time, that could change and that could differ if you want to look at closed sales, but now we just look at created. We also, again, want to count the items. So how many sales were made per user? We can go back here, and sales per user is the correct one. Again, you can choose it on a time period, a campaign period, or user. Again, we want to look at users, and we call it sales per user. Let's do another graph this time. Cool. So in the sales per user, you can actually see, and then we can also, if we want to, we can actually move it a bit. So let's place it right here so it's easier for you to see instead of looking at me. So you can see that 13 sales have been made in the last 3 months on this account. Sarah has been accountable for 1, Adversus support JKH 11, and then the user Jonas 1 again. But as mentioned, this is only counted as 1 sale, but we haven't looked at how many products is actually connected to these sales. So I will then choose a KPI that I've already created as well, and it's called products sold. Let's see how it looks. Some products sold, instead of looking at the source sales, we look at sales lines, which is actually products. Again, we want to look at it through the created time, which makes sense according to the other one. And we again want to count the items. If we just go back and choose the product sold, again, we want to do it by user and take the same visualization, and we call it products per user. Then we can actually see that if we move me, that actually there has been 15 products associated with these 3 sales. This means that 2 of the sales actually encountered more than 1 product. If we look at it, we can see that Sarah has 1 product sold and Jonas has the same, which is the same as the sales up here. So the Adversus support JKH is actually the one who has created 2 sales with more than 1 product, or 1 sale with 3 products. It could also be. But this is actually how you wanna look at the different custom KPIs. You can create KPIs according to bookings as well, according to leads or activities, but this is just like some common examples that could make sense. So now we just save the dashboard and then we actually have it. So another thing that is pretty cool is to, of course, look at different, we can look at 6 months instead. Can also just look at the last 7 days or today or whatever you would like. Cool. But one other thing that is very, very cool is that you can actually now use the custom KPIs in the reports module. So if we try to go to insights and then reports, and then we have the possibility to add the analytics mode for you. So if you actually click here, then your KPIs will also have the calls above 30 seconds that we created. And we have the products sold and the sales per user as well. So we actually have these. Then we can go to filters and say, I want to look at it differently. I'll move myself again. So we want to look at it. We can just do it this month instead. I don't want to look at it from a campaign view. I actually want to look at it through a user view instead. So here you can see the Adversus support JKH, and could also, if it gives you any kind, you can subgroup it and see that, oh, okay, it should be Jonas, and which campaigns has he sold on? It is the direct sales campaign and the fundraising campaign. He has made 30 calls or 3 calls above 30 seconds. If you want to, you also have the possibility to change it up. So you actually go in and say KPIs as rows. So you can see Sarah is selected here, and then products sold is over here. So this has changed. As always, there are many possibilities, but in this case, I want to show you some cool things that you could create, and then be creative on how you can actually create the custom KPIs. If you have any questions or any ideas to KPIs that you would like, then you're of course more than welcome to contact us in the support. I wish you a great day, and thanks for listening.